Hyperplasia. Hyperplasia basically is when is tissue growth due to an increase in the number of cells. Okay, tissue growth due to an increase in the number of cells. All right. So obviously, this is going to occur in organs and tissues that contain cells that are capable of undergoing mitosis. All right. And like I said, this could be either pathologic or this could occur under normal conditions, or unique conditions as well. Like for example, compensatory hyperplasia. A good example of this is the liver. All right. Hepatocytes or liver cells are normally kind of sitting around in the G0 phase of the cell cycle. All right. Remember your gap phases. Gap 1, increase in cell size, and so on. The S phase, replication of DNA. And then your second gap phase, where the cell further increases in size, and then you undergo mitosis, and then that's basically the cell cycle. Well, basically, if a cell is in G0, it's more or less in a form of stasis. All right. So basically, liver cells are capable of dividing; they just don't unless they're forced to. All right. And an example of that would be if you are donating a section of your liver to somebody. All right. Or if you have liver damage, or from physical trauma or so on. All right. But if you remove a chunk of your liver, I mean, you can cut out over 50%. I mean, up to close to 70% of your liver and donate it, and it will regenerate itself. So the physical trauma, the physical stress of destroying and damaging these liver cells will stimulate them to divide to replace the lost ones. Because remember, one of the things that normally stops cell division, mitosis, is something called contact inhibition. All right, if there are enough cells, because remember, organs are tissues, are organized tissues that contain borders. All right, and under normal conditions, cells obey these borders. But if a couple cells die here and there, well, we need to replace them. But we're only going to divide and replace these dead cells until this tissue is full again. All right, so obviously if we remove a chunk of the liver, that's going to stimulate it to regenerate and regrow, which is kind of neat. All right, an example of hormonal hyperplasia. All right, hormonal hyperplasia would be, think of like the adjustments to pregnancy that are made. All right, the adjustments to pregnancy that are made. If we think of, like breast tissue, the uterus, and so on. So basically, a massive increase in the amount of estrogen during pregnancy is going to cause the uterus to increase in size. All right, and it's going to be a combination, actually, of both hyperplasia and hypertrophy. The cells will enlarge, and the number of cells that make up the uterus are going to enlarge as well. All right, so under hormonal conditions, all right, tissues can increase in size, and that's a normal adjustment. All right, that's not necessarily a pathological condition. That is a normal, not necessarily. It's not a pathological condition. All right. But pathologic, on the other hand, well, you can do the math here. This is hyperplasia that is, not good. And an example of that affects my particular gender is benign prostatic hyperplasia. All right, so basically or is what we like to call prostate enlargement. All right, which tends to have, a family history to it and so on. So when we think about this, basically the prostate enlarging, you have to kind of come back and remember your basic anatomy of the male urinary system. So the urinary bladder obviously is located in the pelvis, and the urethra begins in the pelvis and extends out of the pelvis, obviously via the penis. But the beginning of the urethra is in the prostate. That's why this area is called the prostatic urethra. All right, so if someone has BPH or benign prostatic hyperplasia, now remember benign. This is a key word with this. All right, if we're saying that this is benign, we're saying that this is cell growth that's out of control. This tissue is enlarging, but it's not metastatic. It's not cancerous. This tissue is just, remember, benign is just a large mass of tissue. All right, but you have to remember this can become cancerous if left alone. All right. Now, what happens here is when this prostate enlarges, all right, when this prostate enlarges, well, you can see then why males are going to have the particular signs and symptoms that they have. The prostate gland, basically it's going to cause a narrowing of the urethra. And that's why, males in this situation are they're going to get very strong urges to urinate. But the problem is they're going to have difficulty voiding themselves of the urine. All right, so what happens? They could be ready to go, and they're but it can be very difficult to get for the urine to even start coming out. All right, so a delay in the elimination of urine. Also, a lot of times there could be a lot of stopping and starting, of the flow of urine during urination in this situation. Another thing that's very common with this is something called nocturia. Okay, nocturnal, nighttime, so you have to pee a lot at night just due to this bladder being constantly full. Because every time a male is trying to go to the bathroom in this situation, they're not essentially fully eliminating the urine that's in their body. All right, and there's something I was going to say about that. Forgot what I was going to say. Well, anyway, all right. So basically, you can see that like I said, you can see the that's why they're gonna have constant strong urges to go to the bathroom, because they're not fully eliminating their bladders. Their bladders are gonna be full a lot. All right, and then now if you look at let's kind of just have a basic review in the anatomy lesson here. You'll notice that the prostate gland is anterior to the rectum. Darn near killed him. All right. Can anyone remember what movie quote that was from? So there's a particular reason why that when males reach a certain age, when they get to their typically their early to mid 40s, that it's recommended that they go in and get these prostate checks, because that's typically when these prostates start to abnormally enlarge. All right, and I'm assuming this is a test that the vast majority of guys out there really don't look forward to. I know I'm not, but it's something that is important, because, like I said, especially if it's in your family history, you need to get that checked out, because this could preclude prostate cancer. And I don't know. God bless you, proctologists out there. You are bigger people than me. It's just I don't know. It's just too crappy of a career choice for my taste. I don't know why y'all do that, but like I said, bless your hearts. You are bigger people than me. I couldn't do what you do, but it is important, obviously, to have them out there. I don't know. Why the epiphany people have when they say they want to specialize in the lower GI tract. But like I said, bless you. But you can see how why when they do those the infamous slapping the glove on and inserting finger when they do that test, that they do that because you can literally palpate the prostate gland and feel if it is enlarging. Okay. All right. So basically that is an example of pathological hyperplasia. BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. And again, let's all give proctologists a pat on the back and a round of applause, because like I said, they are awesome people.